When God made man in the Garden of Eden, he put in him a shrine to himself. He also gave him many things as gifts. Since the fall, man has forced God out of his shrine and allowed these things to enter. The prevalence of my and mine shows this, that man in general has allowed things to become the idols of their hearts. God was and is replaced by God's gifts. Jesus referred to this when he said, "Then Jesus said to his disciples, 'Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for me will find it.'" To have eternal life, we must give up things and invite God back into our hearts. It's not going to be easy. The cross is definitely not easy. Now, we must give up everything and become poor in spirit again. The best illustration of this New Testament principle is in the Old Testament, in the story of Abraham and Isaac. Abraham was an old man when Isaac was born to him. Yet from there on, Abraham loved his son dearly, and his love for him grew as time went by. God even commented on it in Genesis 22:2. However, Isaac was starting to displace God in Abraham's heart, so God decided to cut straight to the heart and get it done over with quickly, then rather than try and work in from the outside. God commanded Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. Oh man, I can't imagine what Abraham must have gone through in the time between when he got that command. He had to decide whether or not to sacrifice Isaac. Eventually he reasoned that because God had given him the promise he would have a legacy of many nations, that if he sacrificed Isaac, God would raise him back to life. That allowed Abraham to steel himself and go up that mountain. As it happens, God stopped Abraham from delivering a fatal strike. And in fact, this is the sign for Abraham, because this is the hand that held the knife, and this is the hand that stopped him. Still, God had now replaced Isaac in Abraham's heart. And because of that, Abraham could be called poor in spirit, even though he was one of the richest men of the time. One of the most harmful habits of this life is this possessive clinging to things. Even worse, it is so natural that we hardly notice it, but its effects are tragic. We're afraid to give anything to the Lord, yet who gave us our possessions, our friends and family, and our talents? We shouldn't be afraid to give anything to God. He came to save, not to destroy. That said, how can we evict things from our hearts? Well, we have to be completely open and honest with God. If we try to defend ourselves, we only defend ourselves. But if we don't try to defend ourselves, Jesus himself will intercede for us. Also, remember that this is holy business. No careless or casual dealings will suffice. If we're drastic enough, we can shorten this process from years to hours and minutes, far faster than our more cautious brethren. And again, it's going to be painful. And also, you have to experience this. You can't just think about it or hear about it. Finally, we will all be tested. We may not notice a test when it happens. Abraham didn't. But regardless, we will be tested. And we'll have a choice, and it's alternative. And the one we pick will determine our future.